Hi, it's Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and I thought it'd be a good time to jump into the beta and show you every new feature that iOS 17 brings to Apple CarPlay. So Apple hasn't visually altered much in iOS 17 for Apple CarPlay's layout. That's possibly something that we'll see towards the end of the year when they are supposed to be going to release their all-new CarPlay Experience, which features multi-screen support, direct access to climate controls and other car settings through CarPlay, and maybe the inclusion of extra widgets that you can also bring in to your home screen. Instead, we have 5 new wallpapers in iOS 17. 2 of the older wallpapers have been replaced with a new colourful wallpaper for iOS 17 and 1 extra red coloured background. 2 of the blue and grey wallpapers have been also updated with a brand new design, and the older white and black gradient wallpaper now has a more vintage off-white sepia tone. As always, each other wallpaper comes with its own light and dark modes too. The home page is much the same as iOS 16, with 1 slight change that I noticed in the Now Playing panel, which now has a slightly thicker progress bar. Unfortunately, Apple still isn't allowing you to interact with it though. This is also carried over to the Now Playing screen, along with the new addition of a SharePlay icon in Apple Music specifically. SharePlay and possibly AirPlay will also be coming to Apple CarPlay for music apps at least. Currently, only Apple Music displays this option, but I'm sure we will see other apps adopt this feature soon after launch. SharePlay for CarPlay loosely mirrors how it works for SharePlay in iOS 16 for sharing content over FaceTime. Simply selecting the icon will display a QR code, which once scanned with another iPhone will allow other devices in the car the ability to add and alter tracks to the currently playing playlist. So you can have someone else DJing from the back of the car seat on their phone without requiring access to one that's currently connected to CarPlay. The other connecting devices don't need an active music subscription, so simply connect or control the other device's music that's being played. Alongside SharePlay is a new Apple CarPlay logo in the Apple Music app, as well as a SharePlay icon that sits next to it to allow you to connect from a QR code that's displayed on the phone. And also the AirPlay icon in the control center has also changed to a CarPlay logo too. AirPlay wasn't functional in my current beta, but I can see that this feature could be a way for third-party apps like Spotify or YouTube Music to stream their audio from a secondary device onto their CarPlay system, which would also be a useful feature for sharing music wirelessly from another device in the car. Whilst we're looking at the Music app, Crossfade is now an option in Apple Music in iOS 17 for CarPlay. So like Spotify, you'll have each of your music tracks seamlessly fade into each other as if a DJ is mixing them together. Changing how much is faded can be controlled in the settings area for the Apple Music app. Apple Maps gets offline map support in iOS 17, and this greatly helps in CarPlay, where a mobile data signal whilst out on the road can be lost and leave you stranded without any navigation tiles or directions. You simply tap on your profile image, select offline maps option, tap download new map, and simply drag and size the selection box around the area of the map that you wish to store offline. This map will then begin downloading to your iPhone for offline use. From here you can choose to keep the map updated over Wi-Fi and cellular connections, and also force the Maps app to only use the offline map that you've downloaded. Apple Maps also has a new area for EV charging. This is currently only directly available on certain vehicle models where EV charging is detected. However, a search for EV chargers in the app will also bring up this same UI for everyone else. From here, you can see local EV charging stations in the area, how many chargers are available, and the type of charging that they have. In time, as more data is shared, I hope we will see more live available statuses in the future too. Siri has also changed in iOS 17. Sadly, it hasn't got much smarter. Instead, Siri can now be triggered without saying "hey" before it. So whilst driving, you can now speak to Siri a little bit more naturally whilst using CarPlay. Siri will react to either the old or new commands, or you can simply switch it back in the settings area or just turn it off completely. Sending and receiving messages through Siri has changed slightly in iOS 17 too. Dictation cards now overlay on top of running apps and pages instead of taking over the whole screen. There is a new option in CarPlay settings to revert back to full screen if you don't like that, but I like the new cards hovering over the apps. Cancel, change and send options remain on this card, with the send button colour filling up before it sends the message. There is a new mute announcements button on the dictation review card to mute further announcements from this contact, and you'll also mute all announcements from the settings menu too. With a few months left until its public wide release, I can't see us getting any more additions to CarPlay in its current form. The next generation of CarPlay is certainly a promising major update that's coming soon. However, it's still unknown whether existing car systems will see much of these new features, as Apple CarPlay has been very silent on its development since its first reveal at WWDC in 2022. Very few manufacturers that were the first to support multi-screen Apple CarPlay, as well as its integrated features, have yet to show any models with this kind of integration. Apple said more info and models will be shown at the end of 2023, so there's still a few months for vehicles with the next generation of CarPlay to be revealed. So that is a quick look at iOS 17 for Apple CarPlay. I hope you found this video helpful. Give us a like if it has, and let me know in the comments what you think of iOS 17 and what features you would like to see come to the next generation of CarPlay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.